And guys, welcome back to another Big Al Devlin, and this video is part of my martial arts series, and this is all about the martial arts that I have learned over the years. Now in theory I started martial arts at the age of 5, yet before that obviously you learn from your dad and all the rest of it. As soon as you can walk, my dad was teaching me how to handle myself, protect myself, to a very basic degree. Obviously there's only so much a 4-year-old can learn, right? But over the years, obviously, you start off with basic techniques that you continue and you repeat for your entire life. So what you learn as a 5-year-old, you keep practicing, obviously, and just develop upon until, you know, where you are now when you're best part of 30 years old, right? You keep repeating and repeating and repeating. And obviously you add to then more advanced techniques, or you go and learn new martial arts as you go on. Now, what I will say is, what the most important thing is, Bruce Lee said something along these lines. It's not verbatim, is that the word? It's not word for word what he said, so we put it that way. Verbatim, I think it is. Anyway, whatever, skip that fancy talk. But basically, not word for what Bruce Lee said, but he said, basically, do not fear the man who has thrown or practiced 1,000 punches. Different kind of punches. Fear the man who's practiced 1,000 types of one punch, so he's thrown one punch 1,000 times. That's it, I'm getting to it now. Do not fear the man who's thrown 10,000 punches. Fear the man who's thrown a single punch 10,000 times, right? It's all about repetition. It's all about repetition, and that's what I did with my boxing. I had a natural good right cross, very good right hook, pretty good left uppercut and things like this. My one little thing that I always just use as a range finder, I was very lazy with my jab, and I used to throw it out just to see if you were in range of a bigger punch. But then I decided I wanted a knockout left jab, and so I got up against the heavy bag and I just went boom, boom, boom. And I did that probably 2,000-3,000 punch, well, 2 hours a day, every day for a few years, non-stop, every day, 2 hours, bang, bang, and then you know, it really develops. Okay, so what I will say is martial arts is all about repetition. But let's get back to what this video is about, because I'm waffling again. So basically, what martial arts have I learned? Well, I've already given you an indication there, boxing. I've learned boxing from my father. Okay, that's where my boxing techniques come from. My grandfather was a professional boxer. It passes down the line. Obviously, you learn the techniques of your forefathers and your father's forefathers and all the rest of it. So I've got a very high level training of boxing, and I've done it since literally I can walk, and I still do it to today. It's the only martial art that I continue to practice to today. I've also trained in karate. Shotokan karate, to be precise, and I started that at the age of 5. I am actually officially a black belt in Shotokan karate. I was still fairly young when I got it. I haven't practiced it in probably 15 years, so I can't really remember the katas and all the rest of it of Shotokan karate. But what I will say is Shotokan karate is, and I know I'm not pronouncing it like a Japanese person, but hey, karate, I think is how it's supposed to be pronounced. Shotokan karate is all about, well, what I would say is it's a fantastic way to learn a martial art to start off with. If you're a kid, start off with Shotokan karate. The reason is it's great for developing the body. But what I will say is, if you're serious about martial arts and about becoming good, is what I've taken from karate is not a huge amount. I don't use any of the karate techniques that I learnt in today's sort of, if I was to get into a fight these days or go into the ring or whatever, there's very few techniques I would actually use from my karate techniques that I learnt and put them into the street. However, what I would say is, there are a few, and I'll go over what they are. One thing that karate is fantastic for is developing power from a very short distance. So, you know, a lot of martial arts, especially like boxing and that, you're probably trying to work at a good distance and hit them, and the power comes from the range of the punch. If they're a little further away, you can get a lot of power because you can go into it, kind of thing, swing into the punch, right? That's bad technique, but you know, regardless, it requires a bit of range. Whereas if they're up close, and you're struggling to hurt them if they're up close, unless you throw like an uppercut or something, Shotokan karate, for me, is what made me dangerous up close and personal, or one of the things that contributed it, regards striking power, without having to grapple. Because when people come up close, you grapple them, you throw them, okay, you knee them, elbow them, you know, bang, like that. But that's a different martial art. But without doing all those close range techniques, the best way to, you know, what Shotokan karate gave me was the ability to hit from close. So you like that, like that. So you get in the power, ow, you get the power in from a short distance, and there's no martial art out there better, for me, in my opinion, at developing short range, deadly strikes than Shotokan karate. The only other technique that I've ever used in a fight, and it took my opponent by surprise, it was in a ring, was the side kick. The side kick's quite a big part of karate, and I was put into the corner. I think I've been hit quite hard, this was years ago now. I was like this, and I was going to get screwed. They were going to come in and try and finish me off. Bang, side kick, pushed him over, hit his ass off the ground. Didn't knock him out or anything, but it hurt his belly. It gave me that time to then get back into the centre of the ring and control the fight again. So it turned the situation on its head. The next martial art that I learned, I started learning at the age of 10 onwards, was Muay Thai. Thai kickboxing is sometimes how it's called. I'm a 10th Khan in that. Grading varies. There's not a bout system in Muay Thai, and really the only real way to prove yourself in Muay Thai is to get fights under your belt. Say 11 wins, 2 by knockout, 1 draw, 3 losses, whatever. Have a good fight record behind you. But there is a grading system, at least within the UK, called the Khan system. Not everywhere has it, but I did get a 10th Khan, which is the highest grade. It goes from 1, which is the lowest grade, to 10th Khan. And then I've also got a seniors instructor certificate as well, which is great for getting insurance when you teach martial arts. I have taught Muay Thai, and having a seniors instructor certificate is because you've got assistant instructor, and senior instructor. So I've literally got all the grades that you can possibly get through the camp that I learnt through, and it's great, as I say, for insurance purposes. But Muay Thai is a striking technique. It's all about staying on your feet. There's no groundwork. No groundwork at all with Muay Thai. But staying on your feet and hitting them as hard as you fucking can, basically. Bang, bang. Punches, elbows, knees. I know you can't see my knees. And kicks, okay? And grappling works. When you come up close, you can elbow them like that, okay? So you can just go like that. Or you control the head. You try to knee them, and you can throw them onto the ground. Onto the ground, you leave them, okay? Muay Thai for me it's a fairly common martial art to find taught in the UK. A little less common than karate, but it is out there. There are teachers of Muay Thai, and it's what I would personally recommend out of all the common martial arts out there. It's what I would recommend if you're serious about defending yourself and being protected, or be able to protect yourself when you're on the street. If someone picks on you, someone tries to mug you, or someone tries to just hit your girlfriend and you got to defend them or whatever, or if you're a girl and you want to be able to defend yourself against a man, Muay Thai is one way where a girl, I've seen many a girl knock out a bloke, full grown bloke like myself, because they've been trained in Muay Thai. Fantastic. It's a devastating sport if you learn it correctly. You can really hurt someone, you can break people's legs with it and things like that. It's fucking deadly. So it's a martial art that I would recommend to someone who wants to learn how to strike, okay? I've also, have I said about boxing? Yeah, well, I learned boxing from the age of 5 onwards and continued that. Yeah, and karate and Muay Thai, yeah. I've also had a very, 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 very small amount of training in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I don't like groundwork. If I get on the ground, I use the techniques that I've learnt on the doors. I'm not proud to say it, but obviously you do get in street fights, especially in the doors and that. And if I'm on the doors, I will choke you out. I'll choke you out, and there's certain chokes that you learn. It's a little hard to show about someone. You put your head into it like this kind of thing and like that. And obviously the other one is, if you have to, you get on ground and pound techniques. These are sort of street fighting techniques, and I'm not going to talk about them because I don't promote that kind of shit. But that's what you can do also. But Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I've learnt a little bit of a arm bar, triangle chokes, all these kind of things. I don't like it, bores the shit out of me, but it is fucking deadly. If you're a smaller person especially, you can take a big guy like me down. If you're good enough at slapping on an arm bar or a triangle choke or anything like this, an ankle bar I think is another one, then we're screwed. It doesn't matter how well. I'll say what I will say with this is this: small guys out there who are trained in BJJ, if you're really good, you're deadly, and I ain't gonna deny that. But there are a few people who are out there who are not ring ready, in the sense they're not professional MMA fighters. But that's what I'm saying about ring ready. They've had a few fights in the ring, they think they're good, and they take on someone like myself who's best part of 120 kilograms in body weight, which is, 18, 19 stone, and fairly it's mostly muscle, a little bit of a belly, but mostly muscle, and strong with it as well. They put an arm bar on. I've had an arm bar put on me, and all I did was bicep the guy, just picked him up like this. I stood up with him and fucking, you know what I mean? Be careful. Yes, they are dangerous. Yes, you can break arms, but if you're going up against someone who's so much stronger than you, it's still a dangerous thing to do to someone. Keep your distance if best possible. You don't want someone big and heavy on top of you, because even all the technique in the world, it can struggle. But BJJ, if you know it really well, you can take anyone out. It's fantastic. It just bores me. I don't like groundwork, and I'm not flexible enough to put most of the chokes on, so I tend not to learn that much groundwork. The groundwork that I do is ground and pound. It's a weakness in my martial art training, but I'd rather be honest with you guys. I'm not going to bullshit you and say I know this and this and this. I don't. They're the ones I know: karate, boxing, and Shotokan karate, boxing, and Muay Thai, and a wee bit of BJJ. But other than that, guys, that's my background. I hope you liked it. See you soon.